Chapter 1. The Letter. Daniel Carter never expected to inherit anything from his estranged grandfather, a man he had only met once as a child. So when a handwritten letter arrived in the mail, sealed with wax, he hesitated before opening it. Daniel, if you are reading this, I am gone. But there are things you must know. Come to Blackwood Manor before midnight on the 13th. Everything depends on it. There was no return address, just a location scrawled at the bottom. Blackwood Manor. Daniel had heard of it. An abandoned estate on the outskirts of town. A place whispered about in hushed voices. A place people didn't return from. Curiosity and unease warred inside him as he drove through the fog-choked forest. The manor loomed ahead, its Gothic architecture untouched by time, yet eerily decayed. The door creaked open as if expecting him. Inside, candlelight flickered, illuminating a grand hallway lined with portraits. Faces stared back at him, ancestors he assumed, but when he stepped closer, his breath hitched. One portrait was of him, but it was aged, as if painted centuries ago. A sudden noise echoed through the halls. A whisper. "Daniel, you're late!" Daniel spun around. A woman stood at the top of the grand staircase, dressed in mourning black. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "Who are you?" he demanded. She descended slowly, her steps silent. "The better question is, who are you?" Daniel opened his mouth, but before he could respond, the walls began to shift. The paintings warped, the floorboards groaned, the air thickened. Suddenly, he was no longer in the manor. He was in the past. Porches lined the halls. People in old-fashioned clothing rushed past him, murmuring of a traitor. A Carter, his name. A hand grabbed his shoulder. He turned and found himself staring into the face of his own reflection. "You don't belong here," the reflection hissed. "But you did once." Memories flooded Daniel's mind. Memories that weren't his. A life lived before, a crime committed, a curse cast. He had betrayed this family, and now, time had come to collect its debt. The woman in black appeared beside him, sadness in her eyes. "You were warned. The blood price must be paid." Darkness swallowed him whole. Daniel woke up, back in his apartment. The letter was gone. The manor no longer existed on any map. No one had ever heard of Blackwood Manor, but in his mirror his reflection moved out of sync and whispered, "See you at midnight."